How's it going, my G's? So in Berlin now, but won't be for long because I decided to leave for the winter and maybe longer, we'll see. I've only got a one-way ticket, but yeah, flying out on Monday, and it's going to be a bit of a journey, a bit of an adventure. Hope you guys will join me in my escapades. I'll be posting regularly on Instagram and TikTok so you can see what I'm up to, just to inspire travel, because just like music, travel is like a massive passion of mine. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to give you like the main 7 reasons why I decided to leave Europe this winter. So let's get into it. So the main reason I decided to leave Europe was because I needed a change in environment, and this is I think one of the best ways that you can improve like your spirit, because sometimes you can feel a bit like stuck. Like last winter I felt like my spirits were really low, because I noticed it between my lessons when I would like have a break, like between Zoom lessons. I found that I would just like go to the window and it'd be raining every single day, and I started smoking cigarettes just to like sort of pass the time, like on my breaks, and I started to realise that my spirits were just getting really low, and I felt like really like I was sort of stagnating. And it's probably because I've been in Berlin for like 6 years and haven't really travelled much, and travelling is like really a massive part of who I am. So yeah, I felt like I really need to change my environment to like keep my spirits high, and yeah, allow that chance for like my spirits to sort of develop. And yeah, it's not easy to just go and pick up and go and change your environment, but I actually put like a plan in place like a year before today. So it's been like a long-term plan. So if there's a will, there is a way, and if you want to like do it yourself, like if you put a plan in motion and stick to it, like anything is possible. And these dogs are going nuts. And so my second main reason for actually leaving Europe is because I love working online. And of course it's like obvious that if you work online, technically you can live wherever you want. But the reason that I actually really like working online is because I've managed to meet like people that I just wouldn't have met if I, without, like, it's a very obvious thing to say, but like I've made like really, really great friends like through like teaching people who have like discovered me, like on Instagram or YouTube or wherever. Like I've managed to make like real life connections with people that like are into the same thing that I am. So yeah, it's just wicked. And like shout out to my student Davey, who came to see me in Berlin like recently. Yeah, so like meeting people that are like directly into what you're into, something that like is like easier when you work online. And also the reason I also love teaching online, because I used to teach like face-to-face in Berlin as well, like one-on-one. But the thing that's good about teaching online is I think it's actually like quicker and more efficient and effective to like, not only you can do it from home and you're both like working on your own schedules that line up, but also like through like screen sharing, and like it's quicker to like flick between like your screen and their screen and share projects. And I think you actually work faster like doing it through Zoom than you would in real life. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, so I love working online. And there's great things about being here in Berlin. For example, there's lots of clubs, there's lots of opportunities for me to play live drum and bass, but the joy that I get from teaching online is probably outweighs that, because it's more personal, so you build like deeper connections with people, where like having a crowd like vibe to your music is like wicked for that one night. It's not as like deep and meaningful as like having a longer term like relationship with like and like a fellow producer, So experience makes you rich, At least that's what I think, in my humble opinion. I'm not one to sort of go after material possessions myself. I'd rather use my own money for like traveling and experiences. And yeah, I think the reason why this is because when I was a baby, basically I was born in Germany, but then my parents moved to the UK when I was about 1 year old. And we stayed at my uncle's place because he was traveling the world by boat. He sailed around the world by boat, and it's just amazing, like his story. And I think at that young age, I was really impressed when he got back and like told me these stories about sailing around the world on a boat. I think because I was so young, that sort of ingrained like a sense of, or sort of a thirst for adventure inside myself. And yeah, so basically, I think, yeah, ever since then, you know, when I was at school, I would sit around in the library and get my friends to like sit around and try and plan like what we're going to do when we finish school. Like, let's go and sail around the world. And none of them at that time actually ever really did do anything as crazy as I did. But yeah, when I finished school and university, I went traveling twice. I've already been half a year around Europe by car, and I've been backpacking in Asia for a year. And yeah, it's just a real big part of who I am. And yeah, I think that really you develop yourself so much through these experiences, like seeing the harsh realities of the world and seeing beautiful parts of the world. And just, yeah, everyone knows that travel broadens your horizons, but yeah, that's the main other reason, you know, why I feel like I just need to switch things up a bit and go and explore. So my fourth main reason for leaving Europe is to soak up a new musical influence. And essentially, you know, I've spent a lot of time obviously living in the West, but I did have a year, like I mentioned before, in Asia, and I lived in Vietnam for 3 or 4 months, and I was just writing music out there. And I wrote 3 of my best songs at the time. One of them never got released, which is called Movement, but I still want to finish it, but the mixdown is terrible. The other 2 were Samurai and Consumed, which both did pretty well. But yeah, like the idea of being in a completely new environment and using that as inspiration to like get a new sound going on, you know, because I'm always trying to develop my sound. I think it's going to be one of the best ways to, yeah, like really just get something fresh going on. And so I plan to wind up in South America, but I've never been there. I don't know so much about the culture, to be honest, but I love the vibes of the music from what I've heard. And yeah, I can't wait to see if I can, you know, try and incorporate a bit of that culture musically into my songs. Just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of an extra kind of shift and change. So yeah, that's another great reason to travel. Record new sounds, you know, learn about the local like nightlife and the music they listen to. Learn about the traditional instruments, use some of those. There's so many like ideas that I know I'll just have when I'm there. So yeah, reason number 4, pretty obvious. So my 5th reason is to step outside my comfort zone more. And it's something that I try to do like in my daily routine. Like I do little things sometimes, like have a cold shower, or like exercise a lot, or like I did a lot of fasting, just to kind of like break the routine and try and, you know, keep your body like on edge a little bit, just to like tap into, you know, that like warrior spirit that you're born with, that you lose through like all the pleasures that society sets up for you as a trap. But no, honestly, I think it's really important to like break your routine as much as you can and step outside your comfort zone. And like by me traveling to like a new continent where I'm just completely on my own essentially, you know, maybe it has a little bit of a sketchy reputation in certain parts of South America, so you know that's a little bit uncomfortable. But you know, unless you do these things that, you know, put you outside of your comfort zone, you know, you're gonna risk like not I don't want to say reaching your full potential, because that sounds a bit not what I'm trying to say, but you risk on losing out on like just developing like your spirit a bit more. I said that word before as well, probably not the best word, but yeah, there's something about stepping outside your comfort zone that just wakes something up inside you and like gives you a fresh whole new perspective. and can help you in like so many other like aspects in life in general, not just in creative ambitions. But yeah, I think it's super important to do this as much as you can. And by me, like I'm doing it quite hardcore. You know, you can do this without getting a flight to South America, but stepping outside your comfort zone is one of the main reasons why I'm going traveling, because I think it just unlocks like new perspectives and new kind of mindsets in yourself that are just going to only help you in the long term. So the sixth reason that I am leaving Europe is because I want to experience a different mentality of people, local people, because it's the people that make a place. That's what I found when I've gone traveling. My experience in a particular location has been largely dictated by the locals who live there, how they are to foreigners, and just how they live their life in general. So when I lived in Vietnam, the reason I chose to live there for a little while was because the people were just so great. They were just so nice. And yeah, it's great to experience the differences in the culture via the people's mentality, and that can be really beneficial to you to experience that. So that's one of the other reasons that that I'm leaving Europe for a little while. But yeah, let's move on to our last and final most important reason. Food, my G's. Food is number one reason. Well, three of my favourite things in life: music, travel, food. Those of you who follow me on Instagram and TikTok, you'll see that I post a lot of what I'm eating, and that's just because I'm really passionate about eating. I just love food, and I love cooking, and I love to experience like new cultures and learn like some cooking ideas. Because I lived in Asia for a year, I cook a lot of Asian food now, but I can't wait to see what the food is like in South America. And those of you who want to follow what I'm doing, see what I'm up to, just follow me on Instagram or TikTok, and I'll post a lot of stuff on there. And happy to have you guys part of the journey. So let's go.